What's going on there, YouTube land and also some social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're going to be doing a review of a sequel, 13 years in the making, that a lot of people were waiting for, and we finally got back in December. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these great places. I pretty much post on a regular basis, so definitely check those out. As always, people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be doing a review of a new movie that just came out back in December that was a sequel 13 years in the making, called Avatar: The Way of Water. Yeah, Avatar: Way of Water. Yeah. So Avatar 2 just came out in December. It's been 13 years since the original Avatar came out. And the original Avatar was a huge success. It was a real big hit. It's had several releases since it came out in 2009. And with the subsequent film, finally getting released, a lot of people were, intrigued, were wanting to see this and wanting it. And, most definitely it was a decent film. Now, of course, once again, we have returning as director for this film is the original director of the first Avatar film, known as James Cameron. Yeah, James Cameron. Yeah. So James Cameron, who is known to have directed several films of the years, The Abyss, Titanic, the first Avatar. He did Ghost of the Abyss, which is a documentary that goes deep down into the ocean. He's done a lot of films, Aliens, etc., so forth. And he is a big-time director. He's directed so many great films. I mean, Terminator 2 is probably one of his best films ever. And he's just a really solid director and usually gives us really great films. And, of course, with this film, I thought that, he gave us something that was entertaining, but definitely needed to be trimmed up and not be as long as they made it. Now, he did take a lot of liberties and give us a lot more at Pandora. He gave us a lot of different things that I thought were interesting, but at the same time, I think there was a lot of dead space that he did with this film, and he could have just written it down, or he definitely could have edited better in post-production. But at the same time, Cameron is a great filmmaker. He has a great vision, and he gives a lot of great visuals. He gave us a lot of great action sequences, and just gave us a decent film, like I said, that I think is fun, entertaining, and definitely, like I said, has a lot of dead space. Now, another great film he directed, which is one of my favorites of his, besides Terminator 2, and came out in 1994 and also stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, called True Lies. Yeah, True Lies. Oh my god, if you want to see James Cameron at one of his best directing, definitely check out True Lies. This movie is phenomenal. Arnold Schwarzenegger is amazing in it. We have a great cast in it. We had Jamie Lee Curtis. We had Elijah Dushku. We had Grant Heslov. We had Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton, God rest his soul. All these people were so amazing in this film, and this was just a great action film that had all the greatness to it, had all the action sequence, great humor, great dialogue, great writing, and just great scenery as well. And this movie, I feel, besides Terminator 2, really shows such great directing ability that he has such a great vision that he brings to life, and he proved in this film. And with True Lies, he just gave us a really fantastic mixture of all the different things that you want in an entertainment value of a film. Great film. If you have not seen it, definitely check it out. You can stream it now on either Hulu or HBO Max, one of those. I can't remember. I know I watched it just recently. Definitely check it out, people. It's a really fun film. Check out if you haven't seen anything else Cameron has directed. He did a phenomenal job with it. But overall, I think he did a great job with Avatar 2, and I think that the next ones, it'll be interesting to see what he does with them. But overall, I think he did a decent job with this and gave us a very entertaining film. If you have not seen Avatar 2 yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Worth a watch. So this movie, of course, has a great cast. We have a lot of people returning from the original film, along with some new additions to this franchise. Now, of course, the stars off is kind of the main Avatar himself. He was the main guy in the first film, and I just really enjoy this actor. I think he's a pretty good actor. And then, of course, is Mr. Sam Worthington. Oh, yeah, Sam Worthington. Woo, Sam Worthington. Worthington you might recognize from a slew of films over the year, Man on the Ledge, so forth and stuff like that he's done over the years. And he's just a pretty decent actor. I've enjoyed him in pretty much anything I've seen him in. I think he does a great job. I think he brings his characters to life and gives them good, structure, gives them good, values, gives them good all-around, story arc and so forth of a character. And I think he did that very well in, Avatar 1. Now, when it comes to Avatar 2, I just kind of found his character kind of annoying. I don't think he was as badass as he was in the first film. I think he was just more about family in this film. And I feel it took away from him being a solid type of, general type of character. Because all he cared about was his kids. Which, I'm not saying that's wrong. But at the same time, when it comes to, being a general, you have to have even boundaries of each. Of both. You have to evenly cut them out. And I feel like he didn't do that with his character in this film. But overall, I think Sam did a decent job. He was okay. Wasn't my favorite of the two films as his performance goes. But overall, I think he did an okay and decent job. Now, another movie he was in that, if you haven't had a chance to see, that I think is one of his best, one of my favorites of his, that he just did a really great job and shows, I think, his great acting talent. And that, of course, is the remake of the film called Clash of the Titans. Yeah! Clash of the Titans. Yeah, this is a solid remake of a film. Had a great cast, and Sam Worthington was really solid in the film. I loved him as the Perseus character. He's no, Hamilton, but he's still, or Hamlin, Harry Hamlin, but he still, I think, did a solid job. I like that he took a different take on the character. He didn't try to imitate Harry Hamlin, and at the same time, I liked the route that they took him and gave kind of the solid different performance and gave us a different type of feel for this remake of a great film. And I just really enjoyed him, and I liked his interactions with all different gods throughout the film. Him and Gemma Arterton worked really well together, and I just really enjoyed everything that they brought together as this character. And I just really enjoyed his characterization and what he brought to the film. If you have not seen Clash of Titans, definitely check out. It's worth a watch. Great to see Sam Worthington in a different performance. He did a really phenomenal job. But overall, like I said, I thought he did a decent job in Avatar 2 and was a pretty interesting and solid performance. If you haven't seen Avatar 2 yet for Sam's acting, definitely check it out. See what you think. So that brings me to the next actor I like to talk about that was in this film. And that is none other than Sam Worthington's lover and wife in this series, known as Miss Zoe Saldana. Oh yes, Zoe Saldana, woo, Zoe Saldana. Zoe Saldana, I like her as an actress. I think she's really good. I think she's fun. I think she does a great job. And I always enjoy pretty much most of her characters. I loved her as Gamora. I loved her in, several other films she's been in. Death at a Funeral was a fantastic role of hers. And I've always enjoyed her characters. The only character I've ever not liked is her character in the Avatar films. And once again, I thought maybe it might be different, maybe it might change, but she annoyed the hell out of me in this film. Absolutely annoyed again by her. I just don't like the whole vibe she presents and how this character is. But overall, it's like, I absolutely love Zoe Saldana as an actress, and I'm like, why do I hate this character so much? And I just don't enjoy it. I just think that her characterization is too over-exaggerated. I think there's too much, like and haws and stuff like that too. I think, she has no temperament. She has no not temperament, but she doesn't have a good equalization of her temper and so forth and stuff like that. So it's like, it just feels like annoying majority of the time when she was in certain scenes, and there was definitely some scenes that she was better in than others, but overall, still Zoe Saldana is a great actress, and I think she did an okay job, but it wasn't my favorite of hers. It wasn't anything that great. I liked it a little more than I liked her performance in Avatar 1, because she was a little more, I felt soothing, not soothing, but a little more tamer than she was in the first film. So because of being a mother and being married now and stuff like that, and and stuff like that. So I liked it a tad bit more, but overall I think it was an okay performance and an alright voiceover along with the capture motion and stuff like that. I think she did a good job of bringing that character to life, and once again, and giving us a solid new interesting aspect into her character. But another great film she was in that I absolutely love her in, besides Death at the Funeral, she was really fantastic in this film. I think it's a solid film too, and she just was a great part of a great ensemble cast. And then, of course, the film called The Losers. Yeah, The Losers. Absolutely love this film. It's a fantastic, like, based on comic film, kind of like Kick-Ass and like Marvel Comics and DC Comics and so forth. And she just plays a really solid character in this. I love her character. She is really solid in it. She's really fun. She's action-packed. Kind of like how she was in Columbia. And I think she just kicks really good butt in this film. And she works really well with everyone. And once again, she was in a movie with Chris Evans, who, you know, was in Endgame and so forth and so like that, plays Captain America and stuff. So they've actually been in a movie before together, so I think that was really fun. But overall, I really just liked Zoe in this film. I thought she did a great job. I thought she was action-packed, did a lot of great stunt work, did a lot of great lines, and all over, I thought she just did a really fantastic job. If you haven't seen her in The Losers, definitely check out The Losers. It's a really solid film. And like I said, I think she did an okay job in Avatar 2, and definitely was an interesting performance, but not my favorite of hers. Definitely, you know, if you haven't seen Avatar 2, go check it out now and see what you think of Zoe Saldana's performance. So that brings me to the last actors I like to talk about that was in this film. And that is none other than a newcomer to the franchise who plays a interesting character that is related to Sigourney Weaver's character in the previous film, known as Kate Winslet! Oh yeah, Kate Winslet! Woo! Kate Winslet! Oh my god, this woman is gorgeous. I've been in love with her since Titanic, Heavenly Creatures, any movie I've ever seen in. I've always loved her. I thought she's fantastic. I thought she's wonderful, and I think she's just a really fun actress, and she always brings a lot of great, you know, acting to her performances. She's just a really solid actress. But, you know, Kate Winslet is one of those characters that, you know, I feel like most of the time she plays pretty much the same type of character throughout any movie I've seen her in, even though she is really good at acting. And I thought that she brought a different, interesting vibe to this character through her motion capture and through her voiceover of the character. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was an interesting character. I thought it was different. I definitely think that the character was out of place and really didn't make sense. But at the same time, I really enjoyed what Kate did with the character and gave us a really interesting character that had some unique abilities and so forth. Now, another great movie that Kate was in, I think is my all-time favorites of hers, and I think is one of the greatest films of 2004 as well, which is a film called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Yeah. This is a solid film, and I absolutely love Kate Winslet in this film. Her and Jim Carrey worked so well together in this film. They were such a dynamic, awesome couple in the film. Loved her as Tangerine. I loved her as that character. She really brought a great essence to the character. She was very almost schizophrenic-like throughout the whole entire film. You know, wanting one thing and then not wanting another, and being out of control and being level-headed and all this kind of stuff. And I just loved what she brought to the character and gave us a real, you know, great character that was very relatable to real life. And I just really enjoyed what she brought to that characterization and gave us a really solid performance. And I think it's one of her best to date. I definitely, you know, don't know why she didn't get an Oscar nom for that role. She was so amazing in the film. If you have not seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, definitely check it out. Really fantastic film, and Kate is amazing in that film. But overall, I really enjoyed her character in Avatar 2. I thought she did a good job, and overall, I thought it was a really great addition to this awesome franchise. So what is Avatar: The Way of Water about? Basically, the premise of the story is it's supposed to be 13 years later, you know, after the end of the events of Avatar 1. Sky people have decided to come back, and they're starting to, you know, basically try to evade Pandora again. And, you know, basically Sam Worthington's character has been on watch. And basically gets to a point where, you know, the Sky people are trying to kill Sam Worthington's character. And so he decides to take his family away from the forest people and go hide somewhere else to help the forest people out without, you know, trying to get away from the Sky people. And what they end up doing is they end up going to this new other people that are on the planet Pandora the water people, basically, and basically learn a new way of life, and basically, end up fighting, avatar versions of sky people, and basically try to save Pandora again. And that's pretty much what the premise of the story is. And it definitely, it's one of those films that has a lot of story that, James put into it and gave so much that we really didn't need, which could have been spanned through the other 3 films. And, it gave us a great wonderment, though. It showed us a lot more of Pandora, showed us different creatures from Pandora, showed us other versions of the people that are on Pandora, the avatars themselves. It gave us a lot of great, action. It gave us a lot of great things. And overall, it was a pretty decent film. Not my favorite. I don't think it's the greatest of all time. I don't think it's, Oscar worthy, but it definitely was a very entertaining film that had great parts that kind of had a lot of drag points in the film that was just not very entertaining. Overall, a pretty decent film. I give this one 6 out of 10 Golden Movie Boxes up. I think it was okay. I thought it had a lot of great CGI. I thought it had a lot of great action sequences, great acting of certain characters and so forth, and I liked the plot. And I thought overall that it was pretty decent and an okay-ish film. If you have not seen it yet, go check it out. In theaters now. Avatar 2, Way of Water. Give it a whirl. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here or you have been here before, don't forget to check out older new videos you might not have seen mine yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely show support for the channel by checking out my links down below. Either for my Patreon page, where you get all kinds of extra accoutrement you don't get here on my YouTube channel for your eyes only when you become part of my Patreon, or the awesome horror pack, where you become a horror subscriber and get great horror films to your door every month for a great low price. So definitely check that out. As always, people, catch you next one.